So my videos, I guess you could say, are diary entries. I've been doing this nearly 20 years. In the world we live in, it feels as though currently every single time someone does anything in life, it has to be documented, but more specifically, if you do document anything, even for yourself, the fact that you share it, it has to be one of the following things: educational, inspiring, or entertaining. And that's a lot of pressure to put on people. I don't consider myself to be inspirational. I wouldn't say I'm educational. I wouldn't say I'm entertaining either. I know there's people out there that do find me entertaining, but because they don't like me, as opposed to me being a fantastic professional entertainer. My life has been described as being a car crash in slow motion that people enjoy to watch. Hate watching is a thing, so yeah, you could argue I'm entertainment to some people. As I sit here today, it has been just under 2 years since I last read about myself on a hate forum in real time. For years I tried to step away. Those people lived inside my brain, rent-free, for what felt like the entirety of my 20s. And it took time just to be able to live day to day, even away from technology, without a form of fear. An internal fear, a fear of being judged every second of every day, right down to my breathing. I mention this because what I found is by stepping away, something else has started to happen. So because I'm not reading and I'm not engaging, people are getting angry and frustrated, so they come to me to provoke me in my own spaces. It's one thing when it's somewhere else on the internet. When it's in my own space, it's quite different. Or like this week, in the comments section of my video, it kicked off. I turned on approval comments this week, and I haven't done that for a very long time. And even today, it's like I'm going through and I'm approving them, but there's so many that I just... Are they real commenters? Not everybody that has a different opinion from ourselves is a hater. That is very true. Sometimes, especially those of us who deal with rejection sensitivity, when we're met with something like that, it can hit harder than I think other people expect it to or intend it to be received as. I'm understanding more about rejection sensitivity and that makes more sense, but I couldn't tell in the comment section who is genuine, who isn't, who's trying to get a rise out of me, who actually cares. Something I've found increasingly frustrating as not just a content creator, I don't really call myself that anymore, I'm just a person, but anything that I do publish or just being on these platforms is that lots of people expect us to be climbing Mount Everest in terms of achievements every day, or spouting endless positivity, or never having a dark moment, or the fact that we're getting older is making things more complicated. As we go through life, we are continuously experiencing new stuff, both good and bad. But as a person ages, the amount of stuff that they deal with increases too. We don't stay children. We don't stay as people with less experience. We just gain more and more and more. But also the stuff that we deal with can magnify too. When I was 12, the things I was stressing over were friends, or not being good enough in certain classes, or certain teachers that didn't like me. When I was 21, it was understanding potentially that I'd been groomed. By the time I was 23, that was still going on. And then deaths, people start dying, or family members start dealing with major battles like cancer. This is just life. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be something coming towards you. No matter how happy you find yourself to be at a particular point, it's not going to last. That's not to say that it's not a big thing that you're happy, embrace it, enjoy it, but that's life. I'm not just a negative or pessimistic person. I do consider myself to be more of a realist. I've struggled to be this positive role model. I'm a broken record on this. There's so many videos of me talking about this. Please don't put me on a pedestal, because I am a human. I'm no different to anybody else, and as people keep saying, you think you're better than everybody else. No, I think I'm below everybody else. I'm the dirt that everybody walks on. I'm the opposite. I think I'm an ant. I know I'm mediocre and there's nothing special about who I am or what I do in my life. Every day I wake up and I feel like, what's so special about my life? Nothing. But then I have to remind myself that my life is what it is. In a person's life, when they talk about the things that they're dealing with, they're allowed to talk about what they're dealing with from their perspective and how it matters to them. But that doesn't mean by doing so that they deny everybody else's experience, or they themselves think that they are better than everybody else. And it's frustrating because it feels like you have to put that disclaimer on every single part of your life. Hey, this is my life, but just so you know, I'm the same as everybody else. If you pass your driving test and you celebrate, that doesn't mean you think you're better than everybody else on the road. You're just joining them. You're another one of these drivers out there. By celebrating, finishing education and graduating, Does that mean you think you're better than everybody else? No, you've just achieved something within your own life. When you apply this to medical situations, it's difficult because everybody's own experience is valid and what we're dealing with hurts. But telling us, hey, you're one of a few million people that are struggling, the NHS is overwhelmed, doesn't make it better. One of the reasons why things are as bad as they are is because so many people need help. That's part of the problem. That's one of the reasons why the NHS is overwhelmed. It's not just ADHD, it's the whole shebang. I get angry though because I feel sometimes as though my thoughts and my feelings are not valid. And then I have to remind myself that, yeah, they're valid within my own experience. I'm allowed to talk about them. TikTok might be a bit different, I suppose, because that is where you do shove your face into the hands of millions, I suppose. But generally, when I post on my platforms, I'm posting in my own playgrounds. No one has to follow me. If you don't like me, you don't have to follow. If me sharing my life makes you miserable, don't follow. There are times when my life feels unbearable, so I can understand that. That's fine. It's when people make me feel bad for sharing my life, both the good and the bad, but also the frustration of how people assume that I only share bad stuff. Some people have said that I'm obsessive over myself and I spend hours watching myself back, and the answer is I don't. Even when I edit, I don't really watch my face. I watch the audio waveforms and I cut because I conditioned myself into doing that back in the 2010s because I couldn't wait for everything to render. I edited myself by my voice, but specifically how my brain works, I can remember stuff. I remember all sorts of things that I've done in my past, down to the sentences, the words, the time codes in videos, what I was wearing, the dates, etc. I don't have to look it up, I know. So for example, right now, there's a video I filmed in 2015 in a yellow shirt talking about my happy moments, how people focused on the sad moments and not the happy moments. I've not planned that. In my brain, I know precisely what I want to use from that video to insert into this, but that's the point. The point is I don't obsess over myself. I just have a good memory. And that's not always a good thing. Makes things very difficult. But going back to that video, oh, there's a cat outside. Hello, putty cat. Going back to that video, it's frustrating how inside my brain, I feel like I'm continuously saying, it doesn't matter what good I post or what good I do in my life, all people seem to do is remember the bad stuff, or they focus on the bad stuff. Or sometimes it's not even bad stuff, it's just life. You know, life happens. You see people talk about this all the time, where people seem to connect with other people when they're in difficulty, rather than connecting with somebody when they're achieving something. I do find people engage more with the sad stuff than the happier stuff. And it's like, why bother sharing the happier stuff? Because it just irritates people. There's times where I've been nervous to share the happy things because I feel like I'm boasting. Today I'm going to take you on a tour around my new home. I have a new job. Yes! Right now I'm not in the UK, yes. But I'm in New York. Yes! I have been accepted to Met Film School. Woohoo! Celebrate good times, come on. I am so happy. Still climbing my way back up. I'm doing well, the invoices are coming in. Whenever I share something, I'm repeating myself from 10 years ago, I come across as though I'm boasting. Whenever I share something good, it doesn't last, it comes down. Yay, money! Hang on, what? No! And then within a short space of time, that goodness has gone. And then I'm left with this embarrassment that I'm no longer in that position. I have to confess that things are bad. It can be really embarrassing going back to square one after you've talked about how good things have been. If I don't say that things are good in the first place, then there's no pressure. Or if I share something good, it's like people out there want to attack it. Sometimes it is obvious that people don't like the good stuff. It's more entertaining to see someone in distress, or people see you as a target by being happy. Which sounds ridiculous, but I've experienced this. You know, I've had stalkers. I've had people go out of their way to make me miserable. People tear you to shreds, online or by letters they post through your letterbox. But then as soon as you make steps to look after yourself, or just showcase what they want to see, it's still not good enough. I don't want to be performative by editing my life to meet your standards. And then there's also the topic of masking as well. So what is masking for me and what isn't? And my brain is sick of being performative. I don't see why I need to hide this because it's simultaneously part of my personality. Why should I have to be performative? Sometimes I've truly shared my happiness and it's felt like no one's interested. Sometimes it does feel like I post about my happiness and it's like it irritates. In the same way that I currently feel sad that people are angry at me for just sharing my life, I feel upset sometimes because people seem to hate it when I'm happy. Or there's always something wrong with something good or happy that I'm interested in and want to share. In the past I've been excited about so many things and been butchered for it. I've liked this company. Oh, well, you can't like them. Because you like them, you're a bad human being, Rebecca. I don't have any fashion sense, but when I have shared my interest in fashion or done hauls or things, people have made fun of me for what I've liked. Or when I share my art, a lot of people tear into me because they don't like it or they think a child could do it. When I went cycling and I did maps around the world I was in on Strava, like particularly during COVID, I still wasn't good enough. Oh, you're not cycling far enough, Rebecca. You need to put some effort in, and for me it was amazing. And in the same way that people say, oh, well, there's always someone worse off than you, people are like, oh, well, there's always something better, you're not as good as this, or you shouldn't be happy with that. I actually gained weight at one point because I was so happy. And then because I was happy and I was gaining weight, you know, I was in love, I was spending time with someone, I was really happy, I was bigger, nothing wrong with that, nothing at all. But the internet saw a problem. Then I had a breakup I wasn't expecting and was depressed, certainly, for at least 6 months. And during that time I started getting fitter. I started losing weight, but I was showcasing my journey and I was happy. The fat-phobic remarks, the hate, making fun of everything I was proud of, down to what I was wearing, the nastiness about me on that treadmill. That was 2 years ago and it still hurts. In this clip I'm surprising my dad with how I can lift his weights.
I'd start with the others.
I already have. Ready?
Yeah, hang on there.
You can't see my dad there, he was about to be diagnosed with cancer, but he was proud. I was proud. The internet, on the other hand, tore into me. Every fat-phobic remark you can think of. Right in this moment, in 2024, I'm trying to get fitter. I'm preparing for a summer of kayaking, hopefully, but I just don't care. If I look odd, if I am odd, if I stim when I'm on the treadmill, it's fine. I'm getting angry. You do get to a point where you start to try to protect the things that make you happy, because everything gets destroyed by other people. Like even my flat. When I bought my property over 6 years ago, I did not feel like I was met with a good response. Like people tore into me for it, and my home was dissected, shall we say, by the internet. There was me doing something which was tough, and I achieved what I did, and I was proud, and then suddenly I was made to feel like the worst person imaginable, living in a disgusting and grotty home. Being on the receiving end of so much judgment, criticisms, hatred and jealousy in some cases was enough to handle on its own. Then my home was doxed. There's a reason why I don't do flat tours, room tours anymore. When I was in a relationship a couple of years ago, I kept him private, and he was actually doxed by the internet because they tracked him down. I kept him private for a reason. In the way that I'm talking, work doesn't make me happy, but I keep my work private to protect it. I'm in a situation currently where I can keep my work private, but in the past, it's been complicated. I mean, it could be complicated again, but that's ridiculous, the fact that that becomes a problem as well. Don't underestimate people and the internet and what people will do when they don't like you. There's a difference between harassment and hate, but hate can still be harmful, which leads me to the next thing. In 2022, I was doing something out of my comfort zone. I was running for the first time in my life. It was amazing. And I decided to do a race for life, raising money for charity, specifically for cancer research. I had planned to run for my mum and my granddad, and during the fundraising process, my dad was then diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I had people left, right and centre telling me that I was a bad person for not raising more money, that it was pitiful what I was doing. Again, I should be ashamed for myself. In my brain, I still can't understand why people were like that, why they thought that was okay. What I'm trying to say is, every time I share something I'm happy about or proud of, I feel trampled on. I do feel sad. I'm tired of all the good in my life just being... And then you're probably thinking, well, how can you share the sad stuff? Well, I've always found it easier to open up about the things that I find hard or things that are making me sad. And if I talk about something sad, well, people making fun of it, well, it's already something sad for me. Can't make it worse. If I talk about my skill regression, at least it's out there. You can't use it against me because I already know. How much worse can it get? I mean, that's sad stuff. It makes sense to me. Maybe it doesn't to other people. It does to me. You may also be thinking, well, don't share anything, but that is an even bigger topic, which I will not delve into today. You may also be thinking, well, just focus on the good. Don't think about the bad stuff. Easier said than done. I mean, it is worth saying never let people push you down, but at the same time, it's constant. It never ends. I try my best, but I keep finding my best is not good enough. That's hard. So what I will say is, I do keep trying. As I said on the treadmill yesterday. Do I give up? No. Do I get delayed? Yes. Do I give up? No. I am so behind. I feel like I'm decades behind. Comparing me to people my age, or even the people that you might have seen me grow up alongside on this platform, is not good. Don't compare. Don't compare yourself, but also please don't compare me to other people. I'm trying not to. It's hard though. I'm not married, I don't have kids. Nothing in my life seems to be going to plan. I wouldn't say I have a plan. Trying to round all this off. Going forwards. This is my channel. It's not a news station. It's not a place of entertainment or education. It's actually a diary. People don't have to follow if they don't want to. There's no pressure. I am not my 12-year-old self. My interests are quite different. People change. I'm changing. In me sharing the entirety of my life, that doesn't mean I don't care about anybody else, and also that I am better than everybody else. I'm not. If I talk about my own stuff, it's my stuff, and it matters to me, even if it doesn't matter to you. There is good in life, there is, but I also am struggling, and I'm allowed to struggle. There is good in life, but sometimes we want to protect it. I'm allowed to talk about the sad stuff as much as the good stuff. Both are valid. There's other things. I've sat here for a couple of minutes and I've just been looking at the view, and I feel like a train that has slowed down before reaching the station in terms of a conclusion. I just feel sad. Be kind. We're humans. I'll leave it there. Hello, hello. I have a lovely sunset behind me. I'm in my pink kayak. Interesting video, this. Kayaking makes me happy. Maybe this explains a bit more about my brain and my thought process.